Hi guys! Now, a couple of months ago I filmed a video called The Unwatched, which was basically me sitting talking about a bunch of DVDs that I have bought and have not got around to watching yet. So I thought what could be quite fun would be to do the exact same thing but do it with a bunch of books that I haven't read. So this video is, as the title suggests, called The Unread, and I'm just going to talk to you about a few books that I have on my bookshelf that I've had for a long time and still have not got around to reading. So if you've read any of these books and you would recommend them, you can let me know at the end, and yeah, I hope you enjoy. So the first book that I want to talk about is a book that I've had for, honestly, like about 10 years. Maybe not quite that long, but I've had this book for a long time. I got it as a prize at school, so I got it for one of my higher prizes. I think, hold on, I've got a thing in it somewhere. Oh, yeah, I got this as the biology prize at school, and so we got book tokens and whatever, that's what you did. This is Zadie Smith on Beauty, and I got this because I really loved the idea of it. I'm pretty sure that I started reading this a couple of times a really long time ago and then just never really got properly into it, but I haven't read any Zadie Smith books and I really want to because I hear such good things about them, and particularly I've heard great things about this book. I mean, on the front of it, it says that it was shortlisted for the Orange Prize for Fiction in 2006 and the Man Booker Prize in 2005. So I know that this is a popular one, and also look at that cover, it's just lovely. So I will get around to this at some point, but if you've read it and you have positive feelings, you can let me know in the comments below. Next we're moving on to an author who I really like, and I have a couple of her books that I haven't read. I've got them upstairs. Don't know why I haven't got around to them yet, but I'm only including one of them in this because I've got a few books that I haven't read yet. So this is Vanishing Act by Jodi Picoult. I really like her. I have read quite a few of her books and I really enjoy them. My favourites have probably been Salem Falls, and there was another one that I loved and now I can't remember what it was called, but it was the one about the high school shooting. It was excellent. And Keeping Faith was really good as well. But this one, from what I can tell from the back cover, is about a woman who's engaged and she's planning her wedding, and some policeman turns up at her door and her world fractures into something unrecognisable. So this is supposed to be really good. I've heard really good things about it and I've had it for ages and just haven't yet got around to it. The next book, I don't know why I bought this because I haven't read the first one. The film is one of my favourite films of all time, or that's a bit of an exaggeration. It's a really good film, but I haven't actually read the book. But I have the book of Revenge Wears Prada, which is the sequel to The Devil Wears Prada. Haven't read the first one, so I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to pick this up, but I think I just loved the story of the film so much that I got excited when I saw this for like a couple of pounds in Asda and I picked it up. This was actually in a haul video ages ago, and ironically it was part of a 3 for 2 in Asda, and all three of them are going to be mentioned in this video. So yeah, if anyone's read this and sort of feels positively about it, let me know. I've actually heard some people didn't like this book, so yeah, I don't know what to make of this, especially since I haven't really read the first one, so I don't know this girl's writing style. Also let me know if I should read the first book first, or if it's enough, if it's sufficient to have seen the film. Sticking with that category, since it was all the ones that were bought in the 3 for 2, I have The Bling Ring, which I started reading this summer and then got so busy with my dissertation and all that kind of stuff that I just gave up on it. I also got very much kind of into just reading on my Kindle, and I wasn't really reading like book form books, so I was reading a lot of stuff on my Kindle, and so this in sort of actual paperback form got kind of shoved to the side, which is a shame. I still haven't seen the film of this either, and I really am keen to see the film. I'm an Emma Watson fan, so I would, you know, be intrigued by the whole thing. I'm also just intrigued by the concept of this, just the fact that it's based on a true story I find fascinating and horrifying, and I think it says a lot about our society. So yeah, I am going to read this because I read like the first 20 pages or something and I really liked it, but I've not read the rest, so I should really get back to that. Completing the books from that 3 for 2, we have a YA supernatural kind of book called Fallen, and this is by Lauren Kate, and it says sexy, fascinating and scary. So this is kind of like, I think, witchy, supernaturally kind of stuff, which is right up my street. It's, you know, I'm a fan of things like the Vampire Diaries and all that, but I tend to be a fan of these things on TV, not so much in actual like book form. So I don't know how I feel about this, but I do have a friend who's read it and she said that it was really good, and I think that it's part of a series. I feel like there are like sequels to this book. Yes, there are. It mentions it on the back. There's definitely at least one sequel, if not, you know, more books in the series. So if I read this and I like it, then I know that there are a couple of follow-ups, which is always good. I like getting into a book where you can really get to know a character over the space of like a few different books, especially if it's kind of high quality sequels and not just a sequel for a sequel's sake. So yeah, this one is supposed to be, according to my friend, really good. So I don't know why I didn't give it a go earlier, I just got distracted. Next we have a very famous book and another one that has a film version which I haven't seen, and that is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Now I bought this and I started reading it, and I'm going to be honest, I was finding it really hard going. I don't know whether I should persevere because, you know, the films get such good names and the books get such good names. I was finding that the start of the book felt quite kind of impersonal, and it didn't feel particularly character driven, and I know that that will change as the book goes on, but I was finding that, as from what I can remember, they spent quite a lot of time, or the book spent quite a lot of time fixated on, you know, kind of like places and exploring places and stuff rather than kind of exploring characters, which I wasn't really that fond of. Maybe I'm remembering this wrong, so if you love this book you can stand up for it and let me know. But yeah, I got really excited about this, and then I don't know, kind of felt a little bit let down when I started it, but it's always one that I've been like, at some point I will come back to this, so I will come back to it. I also have all 3 of the films. Well, I don't have them, but my parents have all 3 of the DVDs and they've watched them all, and so I should probably watch them at some point. But again, let me know if you think that it's worth reading the book before I watch the film, because I think in some cases that's important. Like, I feel like you should read all the Hunger Games books before you watch the films, because I think you miss a lot if you don't read them. I would say the same with things like Harry Potter and probably Gone Girl, but in other instances it's not so much of a problem. So let me know if you think that I should read this before I watch the film. And finally, we have a book that I picked up years ago just because I liked the sound of the back cover and it sounded nice and romantic, and then I just forgot about it. But this is a book called Random Acts of Heroic Love by Danny Shineman. No, Danny Shineman? Yeah. And basically it's a kind of like dual timeline sort of situation. So you've got one storyline going on in 1917 and another one going on in 1992, and it's kind of like 2 separate love stories which are connected in some sort of way, which I just thought that the concept of it sounded really lovely. This isn't a particularly famous book. I've never really heard anyone talk about this. I just thought that it sounded really nice from, you know, the back cover. And so I picked it up, and I think it was on sale in Waterston's, or do you know where it was? It was Borders, before Borders closed down in Glasgow, which made me sad. It was Borders bookshop in Glasgow was one of my favourite places to just spend an afternoon. So I was really sad when it shut, but it was in the closing down sale of that I bought this book. So yeah, if you've read this, actually let me know, because I don't really know anyone who's read this, so I don't know if I bought this and it's going to be terrible, but yeah, I'm looking forward to reading it at some stage anyway. So that's it for my The Unread video. I hope that you enjoyed that, and if you are guilty of this and you have a few books on your to-read shelf, let me know in the comments below. Also let me know if you've read any of these, which one you would recommend me reading first. And I hope that you've had a lovely week. So that's all for now. I will speak to you again soon, and thanks for watching. Bye! I'm sure you'll have heard of this because the book was turned into film, starring Chloe Grace Moretz, which did, I think, quite well in the cinema a few months ago, and I had just read the book when the film